Hello YouTube, CA Maritime History here, back again with another video. Tonight, I will be talking about the White Ship, and also, as you can clearly tell from what's on the screen, tonight I have 50 subscribers, so I just wanted to dedicate this video to all 50 subscribers that have subscribed to the channel so far. And I'm hoping for another 50 more. So, let's get into the specifics here. So, the White Ship happened, as you can tell, a very, very long time ago. We're talking about 1120 AD. So, a very long time ago. Anyway, let's start. The White Ship was a new, the White Ship, also known as Le Blanche Neuf, I think I pronounced that right, in French. And it was the ship, of course, that the video is based on here. It was a newly refitted vessel captained by Thomas Fitzstephen, or in French, I believe his name was Thomas Fils Estienne, whose father, Stephen Fitzayard, had been captain of the ship Morrow for William the Conqueror during the Norman conquest of England in 1066. Thomas offered his ship to Henry I of England to return to England from Barfleur in Normandy. Henry had already made other arrangements, but allowed many in his retinue to take the White Ship, including his heir William Adelin, his illegitimate children Richard of Lincoln and Marie Fitzroy, Countess of Perche, and many other nobles. According to Chronicler, Orderic Vitalis, the crew asked William Adelin for wine, and he supplied it to them in great abundance. By the time the ship was ready to leave port, there were about 300 people on board, although some, including the future King Stephen of Blois, had disembarked due to the excessive binge drinking before the ship sailed. The ship's captain, Thomas Fitzstephen, was ordered by the revelers to overtake the king's ship, which had already sailed about a half hour beforehand, with the entire fleet, and the White Ship was about a half hour behind. So the White Ship was fast, of the best construction, and had recently been fitted with new materials, which made the captain and crew confident they could reach England first, before the fleet. But when it set off in the dark, its port side struck a submerged rock. This is another illustration here. So the White Ship struck a submerged rock on its port side. That the rock is named, and I really hope I pronounce this right, I believe it's Old English, Quilboof. Quilboof, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's one of those Old English words with the O and E combined. I'm pronouncing it Quilboof. I think that's how you pronounce it, but hope it is. And the ship quickly capsized. William Adelin got into a small boat and could have escaped, but turned back to try to rescue his half-sister Matilda when he heard her cries for help. His boat was swamped by others trying to save themselves, and William drowned along with them. According to Orderic Vitalis, Beroldus, or Beyraud, which, depending on which source you read, a butcher from Rouen, he was the sole survivor of the shipwreck by clinging to the rock. The chronicler further wrote that when Thomas Fitzstephen came to the surface after the sinking and learned that William Adelin had not survived, he let himself drown rather than face the king. One legend holds that the ship was doomed because priests were not allowed to board it and bless it with holy water in the customary manner because it was its main voyage. However, that is a rumor and speculation. I don't believe it to be true, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So, if you saw up here, I didn't talk about it, but a tragedy that would spark a war. So quite literally, members of the French monarchy and members of the British monarchy are on board. And a direct result of William Adelin's death was the period known as the Anarchy. The White Ship disaster left Henry I with only one legitimate child, a second daughter named Matilda. Although Henry I had forced his barons to swear an oath to support Matilda as his heir on several occasions, a woman had never ruled in England in her own right. Matilda was also unpopular because she was married to Geoffrey V, Count of Anjou, a traditional enemy of England's Norman nobles. Upon Henry's death in 1135, 15 years after the disaster, the English barons were reluctant to accept Matilda as Queen Regnant. Now, Queen Regnant is the female, if you don't know, is the female monarch who is equivalent in rank and title to a king, who reigns in her own right. Okay, so one of Henry I's male relatives, Stephen of Blois, who disembarked the ship because of the binge drinking, like I said earlier, who was the king's nephew by his sister Adela, usurped Matilda as well as her older brothers, William and Theobald, to become king. Stephen had allegedly planned to travel on the White Ship, but had disembarked just before it sailed. Orderic Vitalis attributes this to a sudden bout of diarrhea, although, as we heard earlier, it also is said that he left because of the excessive amount of binge drinking that had happened to the crew. After Henry I's death in 1135, Matilda and her husband Geoffrey of Anjou, the founder of the Plantagenet dynasty, launched a long and devastating war against Stephen and his allies for control of the English throne. The Anarchy dragged from 1135 to 1153 with devastating effect, especially in southern England. Contemporary historian of the time, William of Malmesbury, wrote, "No ship that ever sailed brought England such disaster. None was so well known the wide world over. There perished there with William the King's other son Richard, born to him before his accession by a woman of the country, a high-spirited youth, whose devotion had earned her father's love, Richard Earl of Chester, and his brother Oathduel, the guardian and tutor of the king's son, the king's daughter the Countess of Perche, and his niece Theobald's sister the Countess of Chester, besides all the choicest knights and chaplains of the court, and the noble sons who were candidates for knighthood, for they had hastened from all sides to join him, as I have said, expecting no small gain in reputation if they could show the king's son some sport or do him some service." So, that was a contemporary account by William of Malmesbury, written around the same time after the White Ship sank during that Civil War period known as the Anarchy. So, you guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's quite short compared to some of my other ones, but thank you for 50 subscribers, and I hope for another 50 more. Bye.